feel like God's showing me there's like a theme to the videos that I make, or at least the ones recently that I can think of. It's a simplified life. God will give you a simplified life. And I think that it will fit you like a glove, right? As he establishes you in him. As you come out, right? As he brings you out, as he uncovers you to you. Meaning like it's not a generic mold. It's not a Christian mold. I feel like it gets way more complicated when we try to rely on these generic Christian molds. Like, what is our calling? All this stuff. And I'm happy that God is showing me like, no, we can actually make this a lot simpler, right? Like I had that video about like the heart cry in you that gets answered, right? And the manifestation of that heart cry that is answered being like your ministry, right? That you being a witness to who he is. So the weight is not on you. I love that. I love that. Because we can make it so much, and I think this is part of the generic Christian mold or whatever. And I just don't receive it anymore. It's like this, well, the blessing's not just about you, friend. There's people out there that are in need. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So what? I don't care. It's not that I don't care that they're not in need, but it's not my lane. I'm not carrying that. There will be times that God will make me an intercessor for someone's life and I will feel the burden of carrying what they are carrying. But it comes with grace. It comes with grace. It's not a practice of carrying everybody's everything. But at times he will have me feel something with what other people are going through. Right? And there is a grace on my life that I believe is the cross that I bear. Right? Or in the cross that I bear, which is this big heart for the world that seems to be without a father, right? So I personally have seemed to be made in that way to feel that burden, to feel that thing that is missing, the presence of fathers. But with that burden comes his grace. And when you have these generic Christian molds or whatever, it's like all of the burdens, but it's like unauthorized. Because there's no grace. Because like it, to me, what I've discovered with God, like he cares about relationship. It's not about like me agreeing with what he agrees with. I remember my dad was asking me like whenever like COVID happened and the whole vaccine thing. He's like, well, God, what has God told you about the whole vaccine? I'm like, he hasn't said anything to me about the vaccine. We're not there. He's not trying to get me to be like anybody. Right? He is meeting me continually where I am at and being a gentle, passionate, or patient and passionate, understanding father, right? The way in which I need one, okay? And there are times where I do feel the heaviness of the world, but he is there holding that with me. And that's so lovely. It's so beautiful. As you find that like every day is separated by you going to sleep. Right? And that's so nice because you wake up and the burdens of that day are in that day. But I think this generic Christian mold has us like, we have to carry the burdens of the world all the time, and that is our calling. And so anytime anyone is in need about anything, we have to do something. That the blood will be on our hands if we don't say something, right? And then you feel bad about yourself. You're like, what am I doing wrong? How come I don't have enough confidence to share my faith, right? Because blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you're putting way too much pressure on yourself because you've been taught to put so much pressure on yourself. But the Holy Spirit in me is actually giving me a very simplified life and something that fits me better than a generic mold. I'm more of an artist. And this is expression. Expression is not black and white. And so I get to have an open space to breathe. I'm an open, free thinker. And I believe that it's like when you feel safe, when you begin to feel safe, that's where your creativity will come from, right? That'll be like where I think your giftings and these things will naturally come out when you feel like you're in a safe environment. And the generic Christian mold is not a safe environment for me. And so God has taken me away from the viewpoints of other men and the burdens that they carry without grace. And he said, no, this is actually way easier, right? And in this love language between you and me, it's all right there. And don't worry if you don't see it all right away. You'll see it at the right time. And I believe it will be custom made for you. But for me, like, it's like, I'm not here to save anyone, right? I'm not here to like I don't have to be like told to give away or something. That's how good God is. That's how capable God is. And he will be capable with you, is because he will hit you in your heartstrings, and from your heartstrings you won't help but release an expression, right? It won't be something where you have to look to yourself to be obedient or disobedient. I don't have to do that. And I want to say this because God has touched me in my authentic heart, right? Because God has bringing out and establishing who Brandon is. And in that, everything is being taken care of. And in that, there is grace. It's in my lane, just like it's in your lane. So then you don't have to like try to do it or whatever, or try to keep doing it. Look to yourself to keep doing it, because we carry all of these burdens with trying to manage ourselves. And I know there is a whole process of going from self-management to being governed by the Holy Spirit, or that like establishing roots in the Holy Spirit governing you. And it is a timing thing, and it takes time, right? And it's a very frustrating, real process, right? But it's not something I'm carrying. I find that he, with his children, allows them to have the burdens of whatever is in that day. And whatever is in that day, whatever is in today, there is grace to bear those burdens. And you are not bearing those burdens alone. And in that place, faith seems to be producing this thing that is going to arise in the future, as you find that you can only be here. This is the limitation of being a human being. You can be here today, but you cannot be there tomorrow. What is today has been revealed to you and is being revealed to you, but what has not been revealed to you is tomorrow. God has the burdens of tomorrow. And in tomorrow, you will meet him and his grace, and he will carry those burdens with you. He will be with you in that. And it's not just to carry burdens for the sake of carrying burdens. You get to know the one who carries it with you, the one who is with you in that place. So for me, it's like I don't, my ministry, because I don't even like to say things like, it's just like, it's not about like, it's not a means to an end. Okay? On a day-to-day basis, God will show me something that touches me, and then I release it. It is my expression. My expression is released. And I don't think that he's just doing this just because this fits me. I think it actually fits a lot of other people. But we come from this place where there's this generic Christian mold, and we're trying to fit ourselves in something that has already been established. And he's like, you don't need this. You don't need this. It won't fit you anyway. But I will establish you. But I have custom-made garments for you. But I already know the expression that is going to be released from you, so you don't have to pray to have confidence here or there. It's like, no, you're praying to have confidence for words that don't even belong to you, because you're trying to fit into a mold that isn't you. And so it's like he won't answer the prayer to give you confidence to speak like a person that isn't you, but instead he will show you who you are, and in you and how he has made you, you will find confidence. It will already be there, right? This fits me. I thought I had to the longest time, I didn't know who I was, and I'm still in that process, but I'm coming to know. I'm coming to know a simplified life, okay? I do not fit the generic Christian mold. I don't think the generic Christian mold fits anybody. I think that's our premature, impatient selves trying to make something happen. We're trying to fill a space. I'm like, that's not your space to fill. Allow the Holy Spirit at the right time to bring you out, and you will find that there is a simplified life in you, and your ministry is more an expression of where God touched you and heard you. So yes, it becomes about other people, but you're not having to bear their burdens so much. And it is a worship to God without you feeling like you have to be obedient more here, or you're afraid of being disobedient. No, all of that consciousness about that goes away when he uncovers the you that is you. I'm telling you, it's all there.